Alright, hello. I'm going to show you two ways to work with Efolio and uploading files, because sometimes it doesn't work. So if we click, I'm in the new content, I'm going to add some new content, and I'm going to upload a file here. So if we do that, we go over to upload. Sometimes what happens, like you want to upload, say, an inspiration file. I have one right here, a Meaningful Learning ISF file. We're going to open that, and then this happens, and then you add in a title, and we're going to cancel that. All right, so we added where it's going to look in the title. Then we go to save, and this appears where it says unknown file type. All right, there's two ways to go around getting around this. The first one is for regular file sizes, like something that's not bigger than 8 megabytes, because I found, I was told that 8 megs is about as big as about as big as Efolio will let you go into, or let you upload. So what we're going to do is, right now I uploaded I right-clicked on the file right here, and so right-clicking on that, I get the secondary menu, and I'm going to go to Send to Compressed folder, and what this does is it turns that file into a zip file, and it's a little bit easier for people to read, or for the computer to, or for the uploading the server on the Efolio side to read. And I got to this by right-clicking on it, and then I went down to the Send to option in Windows. In Mac, I believe it's Control-click, and then you do either compress or extract, or compress, or there might be something else that says send to zip or something similar to that. So I'm going to do a compress to zip folder, and so now I have this. I have the same. It's titled the same thing, but you notice that it has the little zipper on it. So the file's been compressed just a little bit. It's kind of like putting it into a box and adding it putting like all the packing peanuts in there and making sure that it's completely nice and tight and snug. So what we're going to do is change that to, right now we had it on Meaningful Learning as we had the ISF file, but now we have the zip file right here, so we're going to use that one instead. And I didn't intend to do that. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you that it has the zip extension at the end of it. So I gave it a title, the sample title that I had before, and we're going to just call this zip. Alright, so if we hit save on this, there were no errors that were given, so that's a good thing. So we go down to My Content, and we look at the file size right here, and we notice that the Meaningful Learning has the zip is there. It has a little clamp over the file, which is good. It just says that Efolio can read that file type, which is good. Alright, so then we can take this and move it over here into our page, and then if we do a preview on it, so that should be the third thing down from the top, and so we're going to do a preview. And so here's the 1, 2, 3, that was the intro. Okay, here's the zip. So what you could do here at this point is within the description of the zip, if we go here to edit, we click on that, what we can do here is in the description we can say this is an inspiration concept map. So you can give a better description of what's there, and if we click save, it should, and then we go over here to home, and we do a reload on that home page. You can see down here it has the description that I just added in there. So that's one way. Now, if your files are bigger, on the bigger side of things, kind of like if they're movies, or if there's some other file type that just ends up getting out of control and they're just bigger than you intended for them to be, but yet you still need to have them out there for your artifacts or whatnot, here I'm going to show you the other way to go around doing this. The first thing I would do is we're going to go to Net Files, and we're going to upload. If you go, I had already logged into Net Files, so this is an account that we had set up before. So we're going to upload into NetFiles, and I'm not gonna go through all of this, but you would load the file in. So like if it's a movie or something, you could click on here and find that movie piece that you want. And so I'm just gonna use a file that I already had in here. So we're gonna use this movie, and sometimes this is another way to go around a file extension issue as well. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna make sure that it's on share over here in our in the share option. So if you click on that, you can, or if you click in manage, sorry, you should be able to, NetFiles is being slow today. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab the full URL. I clicked too fast for the share thing to go through. And what we're going to do now is, rather than, we're going to take this link, I'm copying the link location as it is the big link, not the IntelliLink URL. We're going to take the full URL, because this one down here gets mixed up sometimes, and so it doesn't always point to the right place, and it causes errors. And what the problem with this full URL is, when you add a URL link in NetFiles, it looks at this last little bit here, and it says that only HTML or PHP files can go in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to hide this. What we're going to do is go to a file shorten, or a website shortening extension place, and I go to tinyurl a lot. If you are on Twitter at all, or if you go to if you do Facebook and you have people that cross-post on Twitter and Facebook, you might see Bitly as another one. There's a lot that if you do file URL shorteners in Google, you'll get a ton of them. So what we can do here, since we copied that link, I'm going to paste it right into enter the long URL to make tiny. And what we can do here is I can add a title. I'm going to just call it Bjorn Movie. You can do a custom one, or you can do letters, or you can have it generate its own, which is, either one is fine. So I chose to make a custom alias, and you do a tiny URL. And so we have this. And what I'm going to do right now is show you what happens when you enter in the wrong URL into the content piece. So if we go to new content, and you go add new, and sometimes you might have to click more to get all of this. You go down here to URL. We're going to create a URL. And so remember, I still have, this was an experiment I had done earlier. Remember that you need to always enter in the URL type, and it will tell you that you need to delete that piece. So if we delete that front part, and I choose to generally have it open in a new window, sometimes I don't, it depends on how you want to go about doing this. And I'm going to call this movie sample, and this will allow you to download the movie. You won't be able to watch it, but you'll be able to download the movie, or the person watching, or person going to the site will be able to download the movie. So if we do save, and remember, this is the one that has the URL in it, that has the WMV at the end of it, or actually what it doesn't have is HTML or PHP. So if we do save, it says this is not a recognizable URL or web address. So if I go back to the tinyurl site, where I had my tinyurl created, and if I copy this, and then if I go back to here, do a select all and paste, and take out the HTTP, and change this to a regular HTTP, now, if I go down here to save, it's saved. And so if I go over and close the new content, and go to my new content, and close this, and go to the URL, here's my movie sample that we just made. I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to put it in there. And so this should be right underneath the response to question. So if we go to preview, here's that response to the question, and here is the movie sample. And again, you might want to put a description on the link about what it is. So if we click on this, it will go to the tiny URL, but then it will direct it, and I'm now able to download the movie that I was previously not able to upload to Efolio. So that's kind of how to get around some of the limitations that are currently in place with Efolio. This is something that you can use. There's many different web shortening places, so just keep that in mind as well. So this is one way to get around some of the fail stuff that happens a lot within Efolio. So I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me.